Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the beginning of day one of Domains 101 for Reclaim Ed Tech, and everybody watching and listening. We're really excited about it. You can tell that my cat's really excited about whatever she's doing too. That's great. This happened exactly as we hit live. So, um, but
She wants to
yeah,
participate. She wants to be part of things.
yeah, she's got to contribute what she can. So
There's
that's
a
what she's
mouse in the
doing.
closet.
Yeah, potentially. Um, so I'm really excited to be here. I'm Taylor. I'm Reclaim's community instructional technologist. I'm going to ask Pilot to introduce themselves, and we'll go around the, the squares.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm Pilot. I am a hosting account manager for Reclaim. Mostly means that I talk to a lot of people and I send a lot of emails. And I host training and workshops and things like this, which is a lot of fun. And I'm really happy to be here.
I am Amanda Schmidt. I am the instructional support specialist with Reclaim Hosting, and I have a toe in mostly Reclaim EdTech and support. So I'm happy to be here as my first, on this side of the camera type thing. I was here for this very same type of thing back in May as a attendee. So this is great.
Great. And I'm Jim Groom. I don't know what I do at Reclaim. I'm trying to figure that out. Hopefully I'll have a job title here soon. But until then, it's cool. Well, I think we started doing these Domain of One's Own workshop trainings in 2017 or 18. And it's been fun to watch the way they have kind of morphed and transformed over the years. And this is an interesting one. It's going to be, I was going to give a lowdown, but I'm not. I'm going to stop myself and hand it back to Taylor. Back to you, Taylor.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen here. And I have to do, there we go. I kind of wanted to kick things off with mentioning a little bit about our site that you're hopefully looking at right now. So if you're not, I'm not sure how you're hearing this, but it is at watch.reclaimed.tech/DOOO101-fall22. It's not a very pronounceable URL, but it is a short URL. I am going to throw that in our Discord channel just in case someone hasn't noticed it. But this is going to be your home for the next 2 days of Domains 101. So I just kind of wanted to mention a couple things on here. This is a tab I've had open for a while, and I have actually intentionally clicked to the wrong thing, but for demonstration purposes. But I wanted to mention that if you're looking at the schedule at the top here, you can see all of the upcoming and current sessions as well as past ones. You can click on any individual one to see a brief description and who's going to be in it and leading it. You also, on certain sessions where it's relevant, from here you can get access to resources that we may mention or link to during the session, so that's can be handy. And of course, you can also click on the watch button to jump to that session. If you're having trouble seeing something, you can always click the Go Live button, and that will shoot you over to the existing, currently running session. We're going to get an excellent Hall of Mirrors effect here if I leave that on too long, so I'm going to actually switch to another one. But I wanted to mention that Go Live toggle there. You can also manually click on sessions, and if you want to watch something after it's aired, you can just click on the watch button on any individual session, and that's where the recording will live as well. So the recordings are available instantly as soon as the session is over, and this whole page should exist long term too. So if you're looking at this next week or something, you should be able to still find all our sessions here. We're trying to keep these URLs the same so that you can bookmark them and refer back to them. So one other thing I wanted to mention here is that this schedule is in your time zone, theoretically, as long as your computer's time zone is set correctly. So you can see that I've got my times up on here at 10 o'clock. That's my time zone. So I really do think pretty much everything you need to participate is right here on this one page. But I also wanted to mention that if you click on the title of the page here, It'll also jump you over to our reclaimed.tech site, which just has a little bit more background info if you're feeling lost or you want to, I don't know, print the schedule and put it on your fridge or something. This is probably a good way to do that. You also have links to everything else that you may need, including the domains 101, 201 link in Discord and stuff like that. So this is a nice summary as well. We have main format. If you haven't been to or seen one of these, is all of our sessions have a video component. That's on the left side. You may be familiar with YouTube. This is that's what's happening over there. And on the right side, we have our Discord chat. And the reason we use that is because it kind of lets us carry a conversation throughout the day and after the session. So if you've got a question or something, even if it's not about the current session, maybe you're not fully up to date, you can feel free to post that in there, and we may have to get back to it later. But the idea is that this can be a conversation throughout the day. So you can use this embed here. You should be able to see the chat no matter what, but you may need to log in if you want to post from here. If you click the little button, it'll let you know if you need to log in. But otherwise, you can write messages right there, and you're ready to go. You can, of course, also just use the Discord app if you prefer that, or if you have it open already. No reason why you can't use that. We just kind of like this one screen experience. So that's what we have. So with that being said, I kind of wanted to have us go through our schedule for the day today and kind of chat about what's coming up, what we're excited about. So I'm going to hand it off to Jim and Amanda to talk about their first session here, touching base and system refresh. That'll be coming up in about 20 minutes.
That's right. And for this, I want to say that Amanda and I hit the exact 20-minute mark. I don't know how many times that's ever happened in a recording, but this is what we refer to as the Holy Trinity introduction, where we talk about the three systems that constitute domain of one's own. In fact, WordPress as the portal, WHMCS as the middleware, as we call it, and then WHM as the cPanel server. So without getting too deeply into any of the three, which other folks will do far better than I could over the course of that, Amanda and I really provide an overview of those systems that you'll be looking at throughout the day. Does that make sense, Amanda?
Yeah, I think that covers it pretty nicely.
Good. I'm glad to know that I have brought my A game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after Jim and I have that conversation, we're going to go into more depth on the domains portal that we use WordPress for. That's going to be me and Pilot. And we're just going to be taking you through in a more domain of one's own admin perspective and kind of dig into all of those things. Right there. Pilot, did I get into what we're getting into?
I think so. That's a pretty good overview. We're just going to talk a little bit, as you said, about how to use the WordPress interface, and then also sort of what the user experience is going to look like and how those two things can mesh together nicely. That's, I think, about it. It's going to be a great time. But let's see. I think the next thing that we're going to be doing, correct me if I'm wrong, but I am looking at the schedule, is the WHMCS session, where Taylor and I are going to go through WHMCS, which is the sort of second layer, the middle layer of the Holy Trinity that make up domain of one's own. So we're just going to talk a little bit about sort of the role that WHMCS plays, what it is meant to be doing behind the scenes, how it can be useful, and then sort of the core features that you would probably need to maybe not, if not use every day, it's good to know about. It'll help you plan things, plus a couple of extra fun features like the mail options. And then after that, it's going to be Taylor and I again looking at WHM. I was about to say WHMCS. No, we already did that one. We're talking about WHM.
Can I ask you something, Pilot? I'm sorry
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
interrupt you. So this is it's kind of a joke. It's been going on for years. Every time I introduce WHMCS, the question comes up: what does that stand for?
Oh,
What is
I
the
didn't bother to
acronym?
memorize that. Are you kidding me?
We cover that in our recording, and you may
That
think
is
I'm
the
trying to lead.
hardest acronym ever. So anyway, the fact that you covered it means that I'm
You
not
don't have to do
worthy.
it.
You
don't
may
have to
think
say
I'm
it.
trying to plant a seed of interest, but I actually just have forgotten what it stands for since
I have
the
no.
recording.
I have seen it a million times, and every time I come to say it, I'm like,
Yeah.
customer service.
My
manager?
first guess is always web host manager customer services, but that's
Lauren
that's
has
word salad, but
suggested-
it's not quite right.
Lauren suggested web host manager client solutions, which sounds
I
more
think
correct.
it's complete solution, but I'm not
Oh,
100%
boy.
sure.
It almost like they went to a name generator for a good acronym, and that's what they
Good.
came up with, like one of those academia speak
good
or one of those
acronyms?
other ones, the hipster speak, the tech company speak. Here it is, WHMCS. Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I mean, the next thing we're going to do is that sort of deeper dive into WHM, which I believe is also web host management, but it could very well be something else. Because that seems like the sort of thing that could easily happen for some reason. But we're just going to talk a little bit about, as with WordPress and WHMCS, the role that WHM plays in the sort of domain of one's own ecosystem, plus the core areas and features that, like WHMCS, you may not need to use every day. WHM can be very sort of set it up, then leave it as is, set it and forget it. But stuff that's good to know about nonetheless, so that you know what's possible and you can keep that in mind while you're planning for your project. That about covers it for those two sessions. Taylor, do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so getting nearer to the end of the day, we're going to do, Amanda and I are going to do a session on how to talk about domains. And this is kind of new to Domains 101, at least in this way. So we're going to talk about how to talk about domains with students and faculty on campus and staff. Really, anyone who has access to domains at your institution, but maybe doesn't know what it is or hasn't encountered it before. How do you talk about that? What's your elevator pitch? I'm very curious to hear from folks in Discord throughout the day. Actually, I'll plant the seed now if you want to, because it would be kind of cool to discuss some of these. But what's your elevator pitch for domains? How do you, in like 1 or 2 or 3 sentences, describe what this thing is when people ask or when you want them to know? And if you want to put that in Discord throughout the day, that would be a great thing, and I'll kind of try to wrap some of them up. But we're going to talk about some strategies. I'll kind of share, Amanda and I'll kind of share things that we did when we were admins on campuses, and kind of talk about what worked, what didn't work, what we like to do. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that one. Well, I'm excited about the whole day, but I'm excited about this one because it's kind of new, and I'm excited to see what we can kind of all glean from that session. And then at the end of the day, we're going to do our wrap up. So this will be a great time for us to touch on, questions that are still lingering out there at the end of the day, and say good afternoon or whatever your time situation is, and then we'll get ready for day 2. We'll talk more about day 2 sessions on day 2, but the day 2 sessions, just a real quick rundown. We've got common troubleshooting tips for domains, things you may want to know there. We'll have a session on long-term management and thinking about retiring accounts for folks that have graduated or left your institution. We'll have a dedicated Q&A time to wrap up some lingering questions there as well. We're going to do a Splot session and site templates, talk about what's available, what is a Splot, and really, what does Splot stand for? Well, I'm thinking in that 30-minute session, we'll decide what Splot stands for. That will be good. And then finally, at the end of the day, we're going to cap it off with Beyond Domains, and talking about things that we don't often think about running or using domains for. So what can you do beyond the LAMP stack, basically? So we'll talk about that as well. So I'm really excited.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Sopranos?
I've seen some of The Sopranos. I haven't like finished it, but yeah.
Okay, I'm through it my 4th time. This is my 4th time watching it right now.
So you say
And
you'd finished it then?
there is a
couple
time.
times.
So when you say lamp environment, right? There is a point at which Tony says to one of his nemesises, who's looking at him, he's got these eyes. He says, "I don't want to." He's like, "Don't look at me with those Manson lamps." Think of lamp. And now that Tony says Manson lamps, like his eyes is like Charles Manson lamps, I can't think of the lamp stack without thinking of Tony saying that to Richie. Anyway.
I think there's a GIF there somewhere.
There is.
Right?
I'm going to work on that for day 2.
Like maybe
I'm going to start with that.
Maybe you can clip that and like put, I don't know, the cPanel logo there. I don't know. I don't want to put you in a GIF box. So I'll let you run with that. But
hopefully the lamp stack is a little less intimidating than Richie.
Beyond the Manson lamp stacks is what we're going to call it.
There we go. I actually am really disappointed that we didn't do some riff on Bed Bath & Beyond for Beyond Domains now that I look at it.
Like
but I don't know.
I'm not sure we're going to have enough time.
Maybe by the time we do the session, we'll have renamed it. We'll see.
Got a little time.
Yeah.
Because that's you get the reference there? I'm not sure we're going to have enough time. Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm just not sure we're going to have. That's Will Ferrell in Old School.
Oh, okay.
And he says, tomorrow that maybe Bed Bath & Beyond, but I don't know if we're gonna have enough time.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but
it's not a great movie.
About domains of one's own.
Anyway, sorry.
Is that what people came here for? So I also kind of wanted to mention before we get ready for our upcoming sessions here that some more things about the Discord specifically. So let me get my screen situation all set. So a couple things about the, and I can't really, I can. I was gonna say, I bet you I can't zoom the Discord. So I did mention that we're going to be using this domains 101, 201 channel for stuff, but of course, feel free to use anything as appropriate. This is going to be kind of our home situation for the 101, 201 session. But the other thing that I wanted to mention here that is kind of good to know, especially if you're not very familiar with Discord. 2 things. You can do replies in Discord, so that's really great if you're replying to a message that is, not immediately at the bottom here, most recent stuff. So if you're looking something back, you want to give context, use that reply button. And if you have something that is sort of a mini topic, you can feel free to create threads in Discord. Creating threads, they're temporary, in that they don't live in the sidebar forever and you can join them. But this can be a really great thing if you're if there's a conversation ongoing that you want to continue but you don't want to disrupt something. You can feel free to make those. I'm going to make one right now and on looking for suggestions on your elevator pitch for domains.
I thought you were going to say suggestions for renaming WHMCS.
Yeah, that would be good too.
I think we'll start with this one,
but you can just click on a message and say create thread. What's your domains elevator pitch? You can give it a title. Looking for these for our session this afternoon. And that will make a thread, and then folks can join it. So you can click on it, and once you've joined it, it'll actually show up over here. But if you don't join it, it doesn't show up over here. So it's a really good tool. Hopefully I'm not over-explaining something that folks already know, but that was one of those. Discord threads are weird. So I feel like it's a powerful tool that's good to know about. And I just wanted to showcase that a little bit. Anything else we got to cover before we take a break and get ready for our first session? No? All
You
good?
want to know more about The Sopranos, or well, what was the other one I was quoting? Oh, Old School. Pilot, are you going to wrangle me now? Is that what's
I
going to
think
happen
you're
here?
wrangling yourself if you're invoking
I
me.
am. I am self-correcting. It's like Foucault said,
Yeah.
right? I'm in the panopticon of Domains 101 workshop.
Start a Sopranos thread in Discord, Jim.
I might. Don't you look at me with those Manson lamps.
Yeah, I think that's about all I can think of to cover. Amanda, anything from you?
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap up this introduction here, and we'll see y'all over in Touching Base and System Refresh in about 10 minutes.
See you
Y'all.
then.
See you there.